Good morning, guys. I hope we are all well. In today's lesson, we're going to be converting a fraction to a percentage. So let's start off with lots of examples. Okay, so convert to a percentage. Let's start off with 6/10. We're going to try and write this as a percentage. Think back to last lesson. What does percent mean? What does cent mean? Well, cent means 100, so percent, remember, means per 100. So I'm looking to write 6/10 out of 100. So if I can write 6/10 out of 100, my numerator will be that percentage. So let's think. What calculation takes me from tenths to hundredths? So what do I times 10 by to get to 100? Well, 10 times by 10 gives me 100. So if I've multiplied my denominator by 10, let's also multiply the numerator by 10. So 6 times by 10 gives me 60, which means that 6/10 represents 60%. Right? At any point during this lesson, if you're feeling confident to try these next ones, just pause the video and give it a go yourself, and then you can unpause the video to see the answers. Alright? If you're not confident, just leave the video running, but whenever you like, just pause the video. Okay, so next question, 6/5. Well, remember, percent means per 100, so I'm aiming to write this as hundredths, and in fact that's the same for every question. Every question I want to write it out of 100. Okay, so how do I get from 5 to 100 on my denominator? Well, 5 multiplied by 20 gives me 100. So my numerator must be 6 lots of 20, which is 120. Okay, so 120 hundredths means I have 120%. A percentage can be over 100, that's absolutely fine. This is my final answer. Next one, how am I getting my denominator from 20 to 100? Well, my calculation is I've multiplied it by 5 because 5 20s make 100. So 6 times by 5 gives me 30, which means that 6/20 as a percentage is 30%. It's suddenly getting a little bit more challenging now, because when you think about it, I can't really get from 30 to 100 very easily. I can, but it would be some kind of decimal, wouldn't it? So because 30 doesn't go into 100. So to save me thinking about complicated decimals or fractions or anything like that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a little trick. Instead of aiming for 100, let's aim for 10. 30 divided by 3 makes 10. So 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. Do we see how this step was helpful? Okay, so yes, I know we're trying to get to 100, but I've accepted I can't really get to 100 yet, but I know how to get to tenths. So why did I make that step? Why has that helped me? Well, my denominator of 10 now can go into 100, because if I multiply by 10, so 10 times 10 gives me 100, 2 times 10 gives me 20, I now have 20 hundredths, which is what I want. I want per 100, I want it as a percentage, which means that 6/30 is equivalent to 20%. Okay, so if you can't get there in one step, if you can't get straight to 100, try going smaller and then build up to 100. Okay, next question, 6/60. Okay, so this question is very similar in a sense that 60 does not go into 100 very easily. I would have to use a decimal. So to avoid decimals, let's try and make it tenths instead. Okay, so to get from 60 to 10, I have divided the numerator and denominator by 6. So 6 divided by 6 gives me 1. And how am I getting from tenths to hundredths? Well, I'm multiplying by 10, which means that 6/60 is 10% as a percentage. Last one, I can actually do this in one step. To get from 600 to 100, I must divide the denominator by 6, which means I must also divide the numerator by 6, which tells me that it's 1/100th or 1%, because it's 1 per 100. Okay, so at this point, please can you find task 1 on your worksheet attached for you on Google Classroom, please, and find all of your answers on there. So any problems, please just let me know. And then if you have time, please can you find task 2. That's where you're taking all of these mixed up fractions, decimals and percentages, and you're going to try and put them into groups of 3 equivalents. Alright, so just let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you very much, guys.